My name is John Fish, and I'm a Harvard student. Usually I make videos talking about growth and about self-improvement, and in those videos you see a very specific side of me, a very filtered side. Today though, I want to talk about another side of me. I want to talk about an issue that I don't think is talked about enough. I want to talk about mental health, because something that you might not know about me is that I've struggled with anxiety for almost all of my life. This was me in 2008. I was really young. I was about 8 years old. I remember it was Easter Sunday, and I was walking into a new church with my family because we were out of town visiting family members, and I went to the kids group, like I always do. But unlike ever before, when I walked into the group, I felt this sudden crushing feeling, like the world was on my chest, and I didn't know what to do. I knew that I had to escape, but I couldn't escape because it wasn't anything external that was triggering this. It was internal. I was having a panic attack. I had anxiety. So fast forward a couple of years and I'm in grade 4. It's 2010. And I took almost 2 weeks off from school. Now, officially, I was sick. And to my parents, I think they thought that I was just bored. But truthfully, I had anxiety. The thought of leaving my house and going to school just threw me into such a state of panic that I just had to stay put. For 2 weeks, I was miserable. I remember one day I got out the door and I got to the end of my road, to the corner, and I just turned around and I ran back inside. And I told my mom that I couldn't breathe, and that was true. Now, I told her that I couldn't breathe because I was sick, and that was a lie. It wasn't that I was sick. It was that I couldn't breathe because I was in a state of panic. As I got through middle and high school, I was really lucky because I had parents that loved and supported me. I'll be honest, I missed a fair bit of school in middle school and high school, and officially they were sick days. And there were some days where that was true, but to be honest, most of the days, well, my parents and I had a different name for them, and we called them mental health days. I think that there's a big problem with the world, and that is that we idealize people who push through anything to get to school and to work. We have this belief that if you're not physically ill or sick, you need to push through it. You need to keep your grades up, you need to keep participating in extracurriculars, you need to keep socializing with people. Basically, to do otherwise is failure, is weak. But how can you be expected to keep doing what you normally do in your life when so much of your capacity is taken up by dealing with your mental health? It's unreasonable. See, it's uncomfortable to even admit, to acknowledge that you're struggling with mental health. We have this idea that we need to always look like we have it together, and we think that admitting that we're struggling contradicts that, and we feel weak. But let me tell you from my own personal experiences that acknowledging the issue and facing that discomfort is so much more productive than just pushing it aside and trying to push through it. Because only once you've identified and you've acknowledged that there is a problem can you start to solve it. And sometimes that identification can be the hardest thing to do. To this day, I struggle with anxiety. Not always, but there are episodes in my life where I just feel like I can't breathe, like I can't escape from some crushing force. And the way that I get through this is not by pushing through it, but by talking about it, and by ruthlessly prioritizing my mental health over everything else in my life. I wanted to make this video for one big reason. Most of my viewers are students, which means that just around the corner is final season for a lot of us. And final season can be an incredible stressful time, and it can have serious negative impacts on your mental health, be it through anxiety, depression, OCD, the list goes on. I urge you always, but especially now, to take time for your mental health and to take time to engage in conversations with people around you about mental health. If you're struggling, know this. You're not alone, and people care about you. If you feel like you need someone to talk to, consider calling a helpline or talking to a counselor in your school or your community. I've used these resources before, even earlier this year at Harvard, and trust me, they can really help. And we can only change the stigma surrounding mental health if we talk about it more. So please, don't be afraid to have those tough conversations with people around you, because it could change your life, or it could change the life of someone dear to you. Thank you so much for watching.